Hello. Sorry for that. Tuesday, March 31st, last day in March. It's almost April. Hope everybody's good. Welcome into Baseball and Coffee. 10:01, so I was 1 minute late making my coffee. I'm using the beans from Tenfold in Houston, which is where I had coffee every single day when I was in Houston for WBC. Recommended by Jameson Tyone. Very, very good. Easy walk. Ended up liking it so much, I bought some beans, and now we're brewing those at home. Hope everybody's good. Hope you're having a good first week of baseball season. Last night, the second series of the year started. Hope everybody's good. Thanks for hanging out. A lot of people are asking me questions that I haven't watched any of these games yet. How did Luis Castillo shut down the Yankees? Was he consistently throwing? You know what? Maybe we'll watch Luis Castillo a little bit because I didn't watch any of this game. I just woke up and saw the score like everybody else. Foster Griffin, second career win versus Phillies. Good for him. I saw I want to watch Soroka a little bit, even Verlander, because I have to prepare for him for Sunday. Victoria's saying it's time for some different music. Does anybody else feel that way? I kind of like the jazz. Originally, I was going to hit up the estate of Miles Davis, which was originally what we had tried to do. And for some reason, we couldn't break through there. I had a whole plan to use So What, which is one of my favorite songs. But there's also, we could go another direction. I could maybe hit up Kid Cudi. We could go completely away from the jazz. I don't know. But anyway, Victoria's not a fan, I don't think. I think it works. I appreciate that. All right, first we're going to hit our standings here, and then we'll get into everything. There's a lot of different pitchers to look at today. Couple hitters. If there's hitters at bats you want to see, let me know in the chat. But I'll definitely get into a lot of the pitchers who pitched well last night, or not so well if we have to investigate some things. All right, thanks. I'm glad you like the jazz. Glad you like the vibe. That's how I'm feeling as well. Yeah, see, the Miles Davis estate, they need to have a little more respect. You know what I mean? All right. Blue Jays 3-1, Yankees 3-1, Orioles 2-2, Tampa 2-2, Red Sox 1-3, Cleveland 3-2, Kansas City 2-2, Detroit 2-2, Minnesota 1-3, Chicago 1-3, Texas 3-1, Houston 3-2. Wow, Houston midway through Game 3, I think I wrote in the Discord, Houston might be cooked, and now all they've done is win 3 in a row. So I'll reserve my judgment. Seattle 3-2 after beating the Yanks last night. Angels 2-3. A's still 0-4. Oof, 0-4 for one of our favorite baseball and coffee teams. Nats 3-1. They are scoring runs. The Nats are scoring effing runs. Unbelievable. Marlins, Mets, Braves also all 3-1. Phillies 1-3. Reds 3-1. Brew Crew 3-1. Cards 2-2. Cubbies 2-2. Pirates 1-3. And in the West, Giants Dodgers are 3-1. Everybody else is 1-3. Giants did get their first win yesterday. You and me jinxed Houston in the Discord. I know, right away, Carl. I was like, this team sucks. And guess what? They just go out and score a whole bunch of runs. So here we go. When my Korean mother was pregnant with me, she had a dream I came out of the womb playing baseball. She was like, you're going to be a doctor. I think that's true for many families. That's the way that they try to steer people. Oh, it's not the jazz. It's that music is so winter, needs spring jazz. Oh, you want me to switch up to some more peppy jazz? We could switch it up. What I'm using right now is the free music that comes with the YouTube creator stuff, the stuff that you don't have to get cleared. So we just picked out some free music. Jazz from 1925 are now public domain. So exactly, public domain stuff. I mean, Miles, you know, the man behind me, of course, would be my dream scenario. And I got to use his song Around Midnight, well, that he performed. It's a Thelonious Monk song, but he performed Around Midnight for a video about my Tommy John years ago, thinking I would run it back. I feel like they wanted a lot of money. They didn't really want to haggle. I wanted to haggle. And it ended. All right, so I think we should watch, let's watch Roki first, because we've been tracking Roki like crazy. Spectre asked for him right off the rip, is the first comment I saw. So, you know, he finally got into a real game, and I didn't watch any of it, so I'm curious to see how he looked. Let's go to the box. 4 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 2 walks, 4 strikeouts, 78 pitches. Okay, So it's a positive right there. I mean, 1 run in 4 innings is good against anybody. I don't care. Didn't didn't go anywhere deep into the game, but we'll watch it. And then what are we looking at? 4 seams, cut. Wow, 22 cutters, 38 fastballs, 22 cutters, and 18 of his fork splits. Interesting. 41% zone percentage overall, but this is a key thing I'm noticing right away. Cutter was 59% zone percentage. Splitter was 6% zone percentage. So that's not really what you're trying to do with the splitter, but that's why I thought it was important for him to have a third pitch. This is the slider. Let's get this out of the way. Let's get that out of the way. Hold on. He's asking who I want on the thumbnail today. I was all set to talk about Cody Ponce. Then he goes man down. I don't even want to watch it. I hope he's okay, but I probably will watch it anyway. So this is a slider. Let's get this out of the way. They're calling it a cutter, and I'm sorry for doing that. But a -1 and 2, that's a slider. It's a gyro slider. So they need to. It's so weird that they let you call a pitch what you want to call it sometimes, even though clearly the movement makes no freaking sense. But it's important that he has something to get in the strike zone. So that's why I thought that was important. And let's just watch it. I'm talking too much. All right. Guardians and Doyers. Roki Sasaki, season debut. Here we go. Let's check it out. Comes out pumping 99 at Mr. Kwan. One of my favorite players. Didn't have a great game on Sunday. I was hoping for him to have a great game while I was in the building. Did not have a great game. Ooh, that was above the zone. Ooh, we got a challenge here.
We've also seen a little bit of a 2-seam.
Oh, good challenge by Kwan. This is really close. How close? All right, 0.3. So we've seen closer, but that's pretty close.
So it's 2-1 instead of 1-2. Here it comes. Outside ball 3.
99.5 away. So the velo's there on opening day. I mean, he's pumping 97 plus, sitting close to 100 here as he gets to 3-1. It would have been a nightmare for him to come out with like a 4-pitch walk to start this game. I think the wheels start to turn. It's amazing how much sometimes that first batter is key. And you can see by Roki's reaction. So there's the slider. I'm not going to call it a cutter no matter what it says. -2, -2. And it works really nicely. He hadn't seen one of these yet. Pops up. Looks like it's going to be a ball. Nestles in there for strike 3. It's not a pitch you're looking for if you're Stephen Kwan. So good call by, is this Will Smith catching? Looks like maybe. I don't know. That might be rushing. But whoever's catching, really good job to call this pitch. And he does. Look at that. That's a ball for a while. But it drops in there. And check out Roki's reaction here. You can see that he really needed some affirmation here. Yep, just a little glove tap. We got that first out, on to the next. So it was rushing. Rushing was catching. Okay, thank you for that info. What was that? First pitch split, second pitch fastball to the phenom Dollander. A little ground out to Miggy Rowe. 2 up, 2 down. And now the one and only Jose Ramirez, and there's that slider, dropping it in for a strike. I'm already liking this pitch. And I said, even though in spring training when we watched him, even though he was a bit of a mess the last 2 games we watched him, and you could see that the wheels were turning, the gears were grinding. The shape of this slider, workable, better than what he had before. All right, split here. 1-1. Here's another 4-seam.
1-1 to him. Takes off
2-1.
To make him a complete dynamo on the field.
Gets Jose to swing at a bad pitch. A little bit of an auto swing there. Here's the split. Ball. Another heater up to 99. So it's not like he's pinpoint with the command, but I mean, it's good for him to just go ahead and get some quick outs with that second out. Throw some strikes, etc., etc. All right, Manzardo. Ramirez immediately steals second. That's another issue that Roki's going to have. I don't think he's the quickest to the plate. Plus, if you guess right on a split, it's going to be almost impossible to throw anybody out because the split's so slow and it could be in the dirt and it's hard to handle with the glove. So you're kind of guessing, hunting for a split. Those are filthy. And then 99 up, beats him to the spot. So pretty darn good first inning for Roki. The biggest thing is no walks. He needed to get a little affirmation with that first batter. And also the utilization of the slider that he's calling a cutter. All right, inning number 2.
Daniel Schneemann leads off for Cleveland. Out of the 5 spot, he takes a ball. Once you get drafted in the 33rd round, you got a 1 in 100 chance to make it to the majors.
What is this pitch? This is a mystery pitch. 91 miles an hour. Says it's a 4-seam. The movement on it is 12 and 6. This is not a 4-seam. This is a mystery pitch. I mean, it's 91. Doesn't make any sense. So we have a mystery pitch, guys. But it gets a swing and a miss. It's the white airhead. And then he's going to punch. Oh, he's going to get him out on split. You know, I say this a lot. The count is the game. But it's even more important when your put-out pitch, you can really only throw. Your best pitch you can really only throw ahead in the count, a.k.a. his split. So it's just even more important that he gets ahead in the count when he has a pitch that he can't reliably throw over the plate, but it's really good when he's ahead in the count. I like the up-in targets versus these lefties. That's the second guy that he's gotten underneath the underneath it and popped it up. All right, Gabriel Arias. So pretty good second inning brewing here as well. There's that slider. Here comes another one. Although, wait a minute. Do we have another mystery pitch? Timeout. This pitch is 90. And then the next pitch is 86. But they're the same pitch. Okay, they're the same pitch, but he can I guess he can throw it harder and slower. Nice pitch there. Gets him the 1-2. 99 up. Pretty good fastball there. Great take. 3-2 back to the slider. Foul ball. Back to it again. Swing and miss. This is a good addition, especially right on right. But really, it's just the ability to have another pitch that he can reliably command and throw in the zone. And honestly, I like the shape of it. Little gyro shape. It's going to tunnel pretty well off of a good fastball, so you're going to be able to figure out what height you want to start this pitch at pretty easily. You'll be able to read that pretty well throughout an at-bat. So 2 up, 2 innings, 2 pretty dang good innings for Roki. Here's the 3rd inning. Austin Hedges. First pitch slider for strike. I love the way he's utilizing it.
As long as he keeps his spray pattern right, if he keeps it tight enough,
4-seam fouled away.
And Yamamoto is so much more experienced than Sasaki.
Another slider just down, but I mean, I'm very encouraged by that pitch. Ooh, and then Hedges gets him. Just catches too much plate with a fastball here. Hedges kind of blocks it off for a double. Where's this? Just right down the middle? Yeah, just kind of down the middle. Okay. Next batter, 1 pitch out. Ooh, it's a bunt. Ooh, he's going to have to field. All right, did that pretty comfortably. So man on 3rd. Stephen Kwan. Splitter ball.
And also with all that hype with guys that have already produced.
4-seam pull.
Infield plays in as the 2-0 comes home from
and then 2-0 cutter for strike. Kwan with an extra base hit. That'll score the run. So yeah, got himself in a bad count to a really good hitter here. Tried to go to that secondary. This time Kwan's at least seen it. So he goes ahead and hits it. Now back to Dollander. Splitter ball. Here comes the 4-seam. There's a strike. Umpire's been on point so far in this game. Splitter down. 4-seam middle. That was a dangerous pitch. Gets away with it. That's fine. Splitter ball. So all 3 splitters for balls in this at bat. Fastball. Right back to the slider. Fouled away.
Games
And then the four-seam
in his 3 years since they drafted him.
for a walk.
Jumps out of the way here, takes
All right,
ball
not as
four.
great in the third inning. Just not getting himself in great situations, and it's second time through. Ramirez strike. Splitter fouled away.
Got another right there. Doubled up on it.
Accidental, happy accident splitter for the strikeout.
10 strikeouts so far this
Manzardo.
year.
Ball. I mean, you see what I mean with the splitter. If he wasn't throwing any sliders in this game, he'd be reduced to just throwing fastballs. And then he'd be super predictable. So I think the slider's a must if he wants to start games. And he's not going to have great command, you know, with his fastball. It's a must.
Move back home to Toledo, and
Here we are in the fourth.
railroad switchman Stephen Kwan to produce their first run. Somebody Sasaki to Schneemann with this 1-2 pitch. He got him with a fastball.
Beats him right down the middle for the strikeout there.
He says he can remember driving back home after the end of the season thinking, is that it? I got to the majors. I got my those fears continue because he didn't get to play in the majors again until June. He started Kelly for his first major league hit. Bouncer along first and league for Stephen Vogt. Talk about this team in this roster. That's how I had to play. I had to find every little edge.
There's a walk, second walk. The command is still not there, but I will say he's been a little more competitive, and I think the slider is a big part of it. Without that, you can see why it can really fall apart. Again, just if he's fastball split and he's not locating his fastball perfectly, and you know you're not going to throw the split behind the count, then every single time the hitter's in advantage count or 0-0, you know you're getting a fastball. And that's why when he throws it down the middle, they're going to get whacked. And when he doesn't, why they're going to get taken. So you're just not putting enough stuff in the batter's mind. And if there's one thing I would take out of this outing, it's the fact that, you know, he utilized a lot of these sliders, actually more than the splitters. And they're generally more competitive, a lot more of them in the strike zone. And that allowed him to reduce his walks and get himself into some better counts. Because he's still hard to hit. But, you know, clearly he's not going to be a guy who's out there just like, you know, commanding in, out, up, down with everything. So he just has to hit early in the count. And if you only have one pitch to do that, you're going to get ambushed on it. So I think this slider is a big addition, and it's a big part of the reason why he was able to have a pretty decent outing yesterday. Because it's not like the issues are gone. He's still spraying fastballs a lot, and he almost lands no splitters in this game.
I'm not going to say this was unexpected.
I mean, you see a lot of non-competitive splits, and then this is his last pitch of his outing. Velocity, I thought, was another positive takeaway. So he gets pulled after the first batter gets on in the fifth. I thought the slider was another positive takeaway for sure. I mean, the velocity. He averaged 97.6, which is pretty good for him as a starter. I believe he was below that when he was starting last season. So that's a good sign physically. And, you know, this slider cutter thing, I want to go look on the chart, though, on stuff, because it's a little bit of a weird spread that he has. Like the slider that he's throwing right now and the split are not all that different movement-wise. I know they're very different spin-wise, but they're not all that different movement-wise. So it's just a little bit of an interesting situation. You see they're a little bunched here right around the 0-0. All right, but I guess the split generally moved more to the right. That seems a little more... That's different than what he was showing before. Before, he had some that were cutting, but they were all kind of below. Don't think he had a good feel for that, so I don't want to look a ton at that. But the cluster of cutter slider things is pretty good. Some of them have some depth to it. They all go a little bit left. He needed that. But more than anything, he needed a pitch he could throw over the damn plate. And you know what? It gives it a good stuff grade here on TJ Stuff. 109 stuff grade on that. So we were wondering what he could add. You know, what he could add possibly to his arsenal. And I think, you know, I was on board with not wanting to throw a cutter. I was on board with more of a slider or a sinker. A sinker was a good idea to me. He hasn't thrown many of those. He threw a few in spring training when I'm not seeing any from yesterday. But this slider that he's calling a cutter is a good pitch. It's a good pitch. It's got a steep VAA. He's going to get balls on the ground. He's going to be able to throw it in the zone. I mean, yesterday it was his best zone pitch by far, over almost 55% in the zone. And it got a decent amount of whiff too. So time to be encouraged. Time to be encouraged. The kid's been struggling. The sky's been falling, but it's definitely time to be encouraged by Roki. All right, let me hop in the chat here for a minute. Roki needs a sweeper glove side. I mean, maybe down the road, but right now let's just get him over the damn plate. You know what I mean? Let's just get him over the damn plate. He missed a lot more against lefties. There's a reason that that's happening. I think he has a hard time like with just that open space. Like you have a lefty in the box and you have all this open space to the right and your natural misses over there. So it's like it's just natural sometimes to just pitch into the open space and miss a lot. You have a righty over there where the open space would have been. Now the open space is on the other side. That forces you to kind of finish your pitch. Otherwise, if you miss to that same, you're going to hit the guy. So having a guy there kind of forces you into the zone. And I think that's probably why. I think confidence would be a huge deal for Sasaki. More positive results he gets, he'll grow into his old self. Yeah, I mean, I agree with you here. I mean, look, he needed something positive to happen, so this was a growth outing. I mean, it's not a great outing. He did give up the one run, but we just watched it. He was spraying balls. It's not like the Guardians are the best offense, but this was a growth outing. He threw a lot of good pitches for strikes there, especially that slider thing. So I'll take that. Would he benefit from another controllable fastball? Yeah, I mean, if he had a sinker he can control, he'd definitely benefit from that. Sinker and cutter would be wonderful. But right now, I mean, I don't know what he wants. I don't know what he wants. You know, I don't know how he's feeling. So we'll see. And then this is also part of the missing to lefties too, is just because he's throwing more splits and he has zero command of that split. So said this earlier, but without the slider, he's basically Fernando Cruz. 100%. They're very similar pitchers if they're just a two people. We're gonna watch Lance for sure. Lance, I think I want to watch Jack Leiter next, but Lance is on the list for today. Lance is on the list for today. We're still talking about Roki for a second. He needs to put more IVB on his four seam. He doesn't have any IVB really on his four seam. 13.8 on Roki's four seam is just not really cutting it. It'd be great if he had an 18 ball, but he doesn't, and that's making his fastball extremely underwhelming, despite throwing pretty hard. So he's just such a project. He's such a project. It's crazy because the Dodgers have the ability to let him be in the rotation, but he's just such a project. Wow, this just happened. Colt Emerson, 8-year, $95 million contract before he gets to the show. I was thinking it watching the Mariners the other day that this guy's coming. So interesting. 8-year, $95 million. Early extension. They're not discouraged by that one that they gave to, what was it, Mitch White or something White? That was a first baseman, and that didn't really pan out. All right, let's head over to the next game. Next player I wanted to track, which was Jack Leiter. He started yesterday versus the Orioles. We watched one of his last spring starts. The cutter is a real thing, is a real weapon. He's looking to make the leap this year. 6 innings, 5 hits, 2 runs, 1 walk, 8 strikeouts, the 1 home run. I believe it was Gunnar Henderson. And he's able to defeat Bassett and the Orioles on the breakdown for Jack. 27 kick changeups, 22 sliders, 16 four-seamers, 12 curveballs, 9 sinkers, 6 cutters. So when he first got to the big leagues and really first got into pro ball, he was really four-seam slider, some curveball. I mean, now you see the kick change is his most used pitch. He's using some sinkers versus righties. It's amazing how quickly these guys change their ways in the grandes. He got 21 whiffs yesterday, including 8 on his changeup, 7 on his slider, and a really good percentage on curveball and cutter. The cutter is a crazy pitch, which we're going to see in a minute. He only threw 6 of them, but 93.7 year average on the cutter. That's really good break. And then also on his cutter, he's got a pretty decent amount of action, like 9 and 2. I think he was throwing an even better version the last time we saw. So, all right, Jack Leiter versus the Orioles. I probably won't watch every pitch of this one, but we'll speed watch through it a little bit. Orioles, Rangers. All right, Jack. Let's see what you got today. First batter of the game is Taylor Ward, and he's going to beat him with the sinker up in.
Ward hit a leadoff homer off Leiter the first time he faced him. Here
Popped it up. That's the beauty of the right-on-right sinker. Get off that barrel. Don't let him dive. Here's the homer. So a 2-0 sinker. Not sure why he would throw a sinker right on left, right down the middle of Gunner, but right now it's the first inning. You got to make them earn everything. So it's not even bad pitching. You just move on. But let's watch this whole at-bat. Fastball up. Curveball ball. And then sinker. So he was just trying to switch it up, but he just center cutted it to, one of the best players in the world. It's a solo shot, you move on. All right, next up is Pete. He's going to go inside with him on a sinker. Wow, right down the middle, but beats it in the ground. To Smith, nice play there. And then he's going to give up a hit here on a fastball to Adley. Almost a home run. So both counts he got behind to a lefty. And he had to go with a predictable fastball. They got hit. So it was curveball, then fastball that Rutschman hit. Also, I haven't really been watching Adley much. This is a great swing. This pitch is up in. He stays super tight and turns on this nicely. So just while we're watching Jack, we also got to see a pretty good swing from Adley. And then he's going to get a one pitch out on O'Neill.
O'Neill is aggressive, lines the first ball to
little lazy liner to Seager. Second inning.
You have a long touchdown pass,
and it's Beavers.
Would be about 15 minutes to 2.
Little slider out to Seager. Now here's the first strikeout of Mayo. Let's see the execution. Ooh, nice slider. Swings right over the top of that. Mayo's an interesting case. I'm curious to watch more of Mayo. He swings pretty big. I feel like right on right, he's going to be a little vulnerable. All right, Cowser. Long at bat, walk with a changeup. So second time in 2 innings that he's let a base runner on with 2 outs, nobody on. Ooh, and then a nice punch out. Let's watch this at bat. This is a 3-pitch punch out of Blaze Alexander. Slider for strike.
Drive in the winning and go ahead run at the time.
Change up down.
Field wall.
Change up down. He's got a really good changeup. This has been a big pitch for him, especially with the separation it gets off of his 4-seam. All right, third inning. Another out on a changeup. From Taylor Ward gets him out front. Another out on a changeup. This time Gunner. Ooh, good swing. But it's deep out there. Can of shit. 2 outs. And then a called strike 3 on a sinker to Pete. That looked like maybe a Pete auto take. Not sure. Not sure what Pete's looking for here, but good inning for Jack there. 3 up, 3 down. On to the 4th. Strikeout on a cutter. Well, that played like a slider. Look how late that drop is. That is late. So didn't mean to throw it there. You see the high target, but it worked out anyway. I do think the velocity helps a lot. 94 miles an hour. You just don't have a lot of time to make a swing decision. Ooh, 3-pitch strikeout of O'Neill. Let's watch it. First pitch slider called strike. So he's done that a few times. Loves dumping in his slider for strike 1. Now sinker on the hands. Blown up, and then change up to chase off of that. Oh no, it's a wait. Yeah, change up to run in off of that. Great sequence. That was a dominating sequence. He got owned right there. All right, here's a strikeout on a slider. Gets it to that down below the plate. So he's rolling here. Really rolling in the 3rd and the 4th. Those are both excellent innings. Really good pitch right here. Perfect location. He's just so much more of a complete pitcher than he was when he first came up. And that's why I do think he's got a good chance to take the leap. The kid's got a good head on his shoulders. Let's watch this whole at bat. Slider chase. Mayo's definitely got a little bit of a chase and try to ambush situation. So slider, changeup. This guy's clearly on the heater. And then cutter. Really weird circumstance. 0 adjustment made by the batter. And it's 3 strikes in a row, all swinging. All right, here's a hit on a changeup.
And on the 7th pitch here, a ground ball to no man's land.
He just didn't execute, but whatever. And then another hit on a changeup on 3-2. Good swing by Alexander. He's seen a lot of changeups already. And then, so 2 on and 1 out here. Back to the top of the order, and he gets a first pitch out on a cutter. That's a very key pitch in this outing. Nimmo tracks it down. Weird seeing Nimmo in right field. For me, at least. But this is a huge out in this game. This is the tying run. Gunners on deck. The big boys are coming. You just gave up 2 hits. You cannot allow a big swing here. And he goes with the cutter here right on right, and he gets an immediate pop out. So very valuable out here. All right, and then he's going to get a first pitch hit to Gunner. This is what I was saying. Like, if you don't get that out with Ward, you might be in for a big inning this inning. Gunner's the one guy who's had good swings off of him and Adley, so you didn't want to face them with too many guys on. Orioles get a run here, and then he's going to punch out Pete to end the 5th. Oh, very undisciplined swing there by Pete. Let me look at this whole at bat.
We're going to come back.
Ball 1.
Leiter's 1-0 is inside.
Ball 2.
And you're always one swing away from
You would think Pete would be sitting on 1 pitch right here. That's not the one. Slider for a strike. Here comes a changeup. You see, this relates to even what we were talking about with Roki. There's going to be big moments in a ball game where you fall behind 2-0 into a really good hitter. And you can't be a predictable guy in that spot. You can't give them a fastball right down the middle when they can launch you. You can't be predictable. So Jack got back in the count with slider changeup to Pete, and then a curveball gets him to swing at a bad pitch. So, you know, if he's predictable though, when he goes 2-0 heater down the middle right there, they might lose this. They might lose the game on that. All right, 6th inning. Adley's gonna fly out. Now changeup to O'Neill. He kind of dominated O'Neill all day, huh? I say that, and then that would have been a home run in probably most ballparks. 98.5 at 38, but instead it's just an out.
5-6 pitches to choose from. It's almost
pretty interesting swing by O'Neill there. Pretty good adjustment, actually, but he doesn't get anything for it. And then here's his last out of the game. Beavers pops up a slider. Beavers had some pitches to hit that he didn't hit, so I see why he's a little frustrated. And that's it for Jack. Very good outing. I mean, you know, especially 3rd, 4th, 5th inning, felt like he rolled along there pretty good. Not enough first pitch strikes in this game, but did a lot of things really well. He's starting to control his contact better. Good sign for the Rangers. You know, McKenzie threw pretty well yesterday against the Phillies 2 days ago, and Jack threw well in this one. So if they can get Jake healthy, you know, they have the makings of 4 pretty good starters here, and then we'll see what happens with Kumar or Latz or whoever ends up getting the most starts in the 5th spot. But pretty encouraging sign there for Jack Leiter. Let's see what we got here on the stuff grades for him. Loves the changeup, loves the slider, loves the 4-seam, loves the curveball. Doesn't like the sinker, but it's useful. And then the cutter, it actually wasn't even his best cutter yesterday, but I like the fact that he has a high velocity cutter if he's going to have one. So I'm encouraged. Good first start of the year. Good first start of the year for Mr. Jack Leiter. All right, back to the chat for a minute. We got a lot of good stuff in here. Yeah, so it's Colt Emerson of the Mariners who got the contract. He's their top prospect. Him and Cade Anderson. Emerson's the position player. He's probably going to be a third baseman, obviously, with J.P. Crawford's presence. I think he might be a shortstop, but he's going to play third most likely for the Mariners. you think about the Mariners as one of the most complete teams in the big leagues right now. If Emerson can hit the ground running, you know, when he does get up there, that could only help elevate this team. But, you know, we just don't know a lot about it. But pretty crazy. Yeah, 8-year, $95 million before you play in the show. Pretty good gig if you can get it. See a lot of stuff about the ads. Sorry about that. I don't know. I'm not really in charge of that too much. He's the son of Al. I'd be worried if he wasn't improving, but he has very slowly. No, he'll definitely improve. He's got a good head on his shoulders. He's also been around a lot of good pitchers now, but it's really hard to like be as good as like a Skeens or somebody right away in the big leagues because there's lessons to be learned and there's things that you have to figure out what your weaknesses are at the highest level. And sometimes what that might look like in the minors is not the same in the majors. So anyway, he's adjusting. He's doing good. Hot take, Adley is traded and Ike Irish becomes the catcher this year. It could happen. I could see it. You know, Basayo is over there as well. Adley's been an interesting case. You could go a million different directions with Adley. A couple years ago, I thought he was going to be a $200 million catcher. Now I don't know. We'll see. DeGrom back tonight. Good sign for the Rangers. That's good. As a reliever, if you give up runs your first inning or two of the year, doesn't it feel like you're spending the whole year playing catch-up? Yeah, it does. It sucks. It's important to build in some cushion if you can get off to a hot start. But you know, I've had years where I give up some runs early and then they turned into your best years. The bottom line is you have to have a stretch of domination as a reliever. You have to have at least 2 stretches of the year that are like 10 outings-ish or more where you're just absolutely dominating. You know, that way you can put up 20 zeros and then that could cushion the blow from the stuff that can go crazy out there. This would be towards the end of the stream if we get to Kyle Harrison, but we might possibly get to him. And we have a lot of good pitchers to look at. Somebody just wanted me to look at. There was Castillo. I wanted to look at Chase Burns. I know he had a pretty good outing yesterday. He's on the chart. I saw a request to watch Bader hit a home run, so we'll do that. What happened in this Giants-Padres game? Roop actually 6th inning. I'm not going to watch Roop. He hasn't earned it yet. And there's too many other guys to watch, but great outing from him. 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. They do get to Bueller for 3 runs. Looks like the home run was the difference in this game. Bader tots 1 for 4. So let's watch it. Giants, Padres. This will be a quick one. San Francisco Giants get their first dub. Tony Vitello getting his first dub yesterday. Congrats to Tony. And my guy, Bader, who I think the Giants fans are going to love long-term, coming up with a dinger off of Walker in this one, first at-bat. So first pitch, slider away. Should have challenged, doesn't. Called strike. Second pitch, knuckle curve. Ooh, a little check swing. Says he goes, so now he's down 0-2. Got a grind. Four-seamer. Just weird to see a Walker Bueller throwing 92.6. Oh, he does have 18 vert, though. That's a good sign. That's a lot closer to where he was when he was with the Dodgers back in the day. The only difference is 92.6 is not Walker Bueller. He's butane. He throws 98. All right, here's the homer. Curveball. Ooh, he's going to back it up down the middle. Yeah. Great swing by Bader. First home run as a Giant. You know, he showed it last year. Hit for some more power. Was up around 800 OPS. We already know what he does on the defensive side. He's a really, really good teammate. You know, great guy in the clubhouse. Brings a different vibe for sure. But offensively, these are the type of pitches he smashes. Little mistake breaking balls in the middle. He does a good job of staying tight on that. What's the metrics? 107.3 at 24. Also, he's jacked. He's like low-key jacked. Beautiful swing. He's got a little bit of give in that back knee to kind of get down lower, which I like. And I think he's really coming to his own in terms of what type of hitter he should be. He should be taking his shots for some power, you know, and being a little selective up there. So anyway, there's the home run. That was the big difference. I know Roop pitched well. Walker had a little bit of adventure in the 9th, right? Merrill clipped him for a home run right here. But they do end up getting the win, and the first win of the season for the Giants, and the first win of the career for Tony Vitello. So congrats to Tony. I love Jackson Merrill. That's a bomb. 107.4 at 38. He got them within one, but they do hold on, and they do get the dub. So good job for the Giants getting on the board. Don't think Bader being jacked is low-key. I don't know. I guess you guys didn't know, but he's yoked. He's yoked. He really is. And he's got plus hair. It's a good point. He has a V back, and those lats generate a lot of power. All right, so you guys are on. You guys are checking that bot out. See how it is. Yeah, Soroka we have to watch. We're going to have a whole video today on Painter. 100%. Major League debut today. Very excited for that. Explosion through the ball is great. Very similar to the swing that we saw from Langoliers the other day, where it's like head down, through the ball, through contact, no leakage, through contact. You're strong enough to get through it. So very nice. Bader was a guy I expected to lose some height. Did he lose height or no? I don't know. All right, so that's it for that. I think we wanted to check in on Chase Burns' season debut yesterday for the Reds, as the Reds are now 3-1. Where are you, Reds? It is the Pirates, but the Pirates do have a little bit better lineup this year. Anyway, Burns, 5 innings, 1 hit, 3 walks, 7 strikeouts. Let's see how much fastball slider it was. Yeah, almost all. 63% fastball, average 98. Slider, 31%, got 57% whiff. Gross. Changeup. Changeup. Only 5 changeups in this game. All right, Burns. Burns versus Pirates. Always been a big fan of Burns, like since I saw him in college. Was always curious how he could maybe actually be a starter or not, because he has such reliever energy with the way he chucks it. But we'll do the same thing as we just did with Leiter. We'll just go to the result pitches of each at bat. He's one of the guys that probably can get away with the 2 pitches for a bit because they're so plus. They're like triple plus, his fastball and his slider, but eventually he's going to have to expand that arsenal too. Or it's just going to be really hard to maintain any level of success. All right, there's a walk. So 3-1 count on the first batter, 3-1 count on Lau, who's hot, ends up walking him. Not an easy guy to walk. Now here's Reynolds. Pretty good pitch to hit, but he doesn't get through it very well. Flies it out to Benson. And here's the first strikeout, right on right. So I saw somewhere in the chat here, somebody said that he's going to have a hard time versus lefties. Yeah, Uncle Ted. You're 100% right. He is going to have a hard time versus lefties. That's why the changeup exists. I think he'll probably implement sinker at some point. He does have a little cut ride to the fastball, so that'll help, and the slider's depthy, but you see, like, the Pirates go ahead and throw all these lefties in the lineup. That's going to be the reality against him a lot. The righties are doomed. The lefties, it's going to be a challenge. All right, second inning. First pitch, first batter, O'Hearn out on a changeup. See, he's got a good one. I like his changeup, especially when you locate it there. Changeup is all about location. Check out the perfect location of this. Makes you reach and tap. Reach and tap. Not a lot of damage with a reach and tap swing. One out there. Next up, Triolo. Slider beating the ground. Burns, plant, throw. Nice job. And then a 3-pitch strikeout of Horwitz. Ooh, electric called strike 3. And what I meant by a little bit of like a cut to his four-seam, only 1.3 inches of break. So that ball is going to just kind of bore in a little bit back towards the plate because it's less than 8. It's not official cut, but it's going to feel like it has cut. So that's a pretty good weapon for him versus both sides. But yeah, I do think that you'll see him add more pitches. There's a screaming, basically backdoor fastball, if you will. All right, third inning. Gonzalez, ground ball to second on a slider. Easy play there. Here's a strikeout of Henry Davis on 99-6. Just doors, and check out the leg swing by Burns on the finish. How do you do this? Gangster. All right, next. So 3 up, 3 down in the third as O'Neill Cruz beats him. There's that fastball that looks like a cut. You see how this ball bores in? Look at that. So this is a great location for him always versus lefties. If he can be right here, he's going to be in a great spot. That's where he's going to want to be a lot, is right there. Great pitch. All right, 4th inning. Bilal. So he walks Bilal twice.
And there's a 4.
And a strikeout of Reynolds.
Check swing. Did he go?
Devastating. I want to watch this whole at bat.
Pirates. Lucky guess.
Change up away, strike.
Chase Burns also has a really quick, good pickoff.
4-seam up. See where this one is that sets up the swing and miss slider. Oh, okay, interesting. Didn't really even create a tunnel, but when your slider's 91, creates some indecision. So Reynolds could not hold up. See you later. First pitch out of Ozuna. Almost clips him. Good play by Benson down there in that weird corner. Didn't hit it very hard. And then another walk. So this is his 3rd walk. And I also think sometimes like we mistake bad command for just lack of options. Like sometimes what happens is like you know that they've seen your pitches over and over and over again, and you kind of don't have anything that they're not ready for, and so you kind of shy away from the zone. That could be part of it with Burns. Like he falls behind, he doesn't want to give them a predictable pitch. All right, here's a strikeout. Also, when he has a righty on deck, why wouldn't you just wait for the righty? You're going to dominate him. This is 99-2, just absolute gas.
Struck him out.
I mean, he throws so hard. All right, check out the deliv. The drift, the drop, and then he kind of leans back, but it's a very aggressive right here. He's got great flexibility in that spine. And then the finish is violent. He's electric. He really is. All right, next batter. Top of the 5th. Horwitz. Base hit on a slider. Caught too much plate with that one with 2 strikes. There's a knock. Gonzalez. Can they get 2? Key Bryan. 1. Safe. Next batter. Strikeout on a slider. So Davis got owned. Nowhere close on that. That's nasty. If he can land any fastball down in the zone, then they have to swing at these. And these are not hittable. Nasty. Another strikeout. O'Neill Cruz. When's O'Neill Cruz gonna make some adjustments, man? I'm waiting on it. I'm waiting on it. Not sure. And that's it. That's it for the outing. Really nasty. Really good outing from Burns. I do think, look, long term, he's going to have to add more. He's going to have to add more, but he's starting off in a very nice place. Like, his shit's gross. All right, Chase Burns. What do we got here? I mean, 123 on the slider. That's one of the very highest slider grades we've seen. 114 on the 4-seam, 111 on the changeup. I mentioned I like his changeup a lot, so that's a good place to start. But he doesn't trust it enough. Only 5 changeups. I think in the future you'll see this mix plus a sinker, and then the spread will come down. The 4-seam percentage will come down. The sinker will go up a little bit. They'll both be about 50% total. So he'll be 50% hard, 50% soft. That's what I would expect to see. But good start for the Reds. They're kind of flexing a little bit of that pitching muscle that they have. That kind of makes their team, a contender this year. They have Abbott, Lodolo, Lauder's a good pitcher, Burns, obviously Hunter Green's out right now. We'll see if he gets back. But they have a good group of starters, and I think that's very encouraging when a lot of teams don't. A lot of teams are struggling in that. All right, let me get in here. He's been toying with a change, which he will need to truly be an ace and just not a very good number 3. Agreed. Hey, yo, why did you choose Northeastern over, say, St. John's? So I got recruited by St. John's, but the coach at the time, Blankmeyer, I don't know. I just felt like he was like he didn't really act like he wanted me. He acted like he could live without me, and he wasn't really like giving me a lot of indication that I was definitely going to pitch a lot as a freshman. And that to me was what I valued the most at the time, was pitching as a freshman, getting reps as a freshman. Didn't want to go there and waste my time for a year. St. John's had a good program too. Anthony Vivaro was there, rest in peace. Craig Hansen, a whole bunch of other really good players, and it would have been a good fit. But ultimately, I thought his attitude sucked, so I didn't go there. Same with UConn. They kind of said they wanted me to redshirt, whereas Northeastern was like, hey, you're going to close on the weekends and start in the midday and the midweek. So I was like, all right, great. I'm going to pitch. So we did that. With how much movement he gets on everything else, how easy it will be to get a new sinker? Probably pretty easy. It doesn't have to be a great pitch. But I just think he's going to want a variation off that fastball. Did I see Pedro Martinez's segment on attacking launch angle, basically fastball up and in and slider dotting down and out? No, didn't see it, but there's nuance there, I'm sure. Do you think some broadcasts have better angles to watch pitching? Yeah, of course. Some of them are terrible. I don't like that Reds one very much. It's similar to the Rangers one, where you can't see a lot of north-south action. They try to be behind, which I like, but they're too high up, so it's a weird perspective. You want right behind, but like just over the pitcher's head. Then you can really see everything really, really good. O'Neal Cruz is God status eventually. We're waiting. We're waiting. I think he's great, but we're waiting. Mike Lavin was not my coach. I had Neil McPhee. He came later. Polanco's playing with an injured Achilles. I need to learn more about that. All right. Who's next up on the list? Should we check out on the Cody Ponce injury real quick? I'm curious to see what the heck happened there. How far did he go into the game? I don't think it was very far. I think he was off to a pretty hot start, no? It was in the third inning. So 2 1/3, 1 hit, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts. I was planning on making a video about Cody, but we'll stick with this game a little bit because I want to watch Dollander. So Ponce and Dollander are both in this game. What's up, my love? I mean, you want me to put my hat on?
Mm-hmm.
There we go. Baseball coffee. We're back.
I did not know that you were doing your show today.
I do it every day.
Since when?
Since the season started.
This is news to me.
But not Sundays, unless I'm
go
somewhere else.
Pick out flowers.
Oh, no. Maybe later.
I would like to go to the garden.
We just got invited to a Rangers game.
Yes, but not that garden. I would like to go into the flower garden. Oh, the nephew's up.
Go with your nephew.
The niece is up.
Go with your niece.
Welcome, children, at 11 o'clock
All
in
right,
the morning.
Cody, 17
Ever,
sliders,
I'm saying
12
hello.
changeups, 12 fastballs, 6 curveballs was his
Where?
outing before he got hurt. So let's check in on that. Blue Jays Rock Show. So the Rockies got their first win after a tough start in Miami.
Adam, give Ever Girl a huggy.
Hello.
This is Ever,
Hi.
our love.
Good morning.
I can't believe you just woke up.
All right, let's see this injury.
0-2 again. Weakly hit to the right side, and Ponce can't make the play, and now he's limping and
What
down.
happened? You can't see anything from here. Let's watch it again.
0-2 again.
So he goes after this ball,
To the right side,
and then, I think, so he hyperextends it.
And now he's limping.
He's still good right there. When he plants there, and then he grabs his right hamstring or something. Hopefully it's not anything actually in his knee. But Not happy about that. Poor guy, man. Just came back. That shit sucks. Watch one of those famous YouTube sports doctors. He showed the play. Good thing for Ponce, his leg was completely straight. He rolled his ankle and hyperextended his knee. Thinks it's his hammy. So he might be okay. He might be okay. I'll tell you what, the big fella should not be fielding many balls. I hate to laugh at all because I was similar, but he should not be fielding any balls. Let's watch his strikeouts while he was in there. Slider. Ooh, really nice. Johnson. Slider. Oh, here's the changeup. Pitch that he was famous for in Korea last year once he figured this out. This is nasty. Nasty little kick change here. Is this a kick change or a split? Either way, it's nasty. Straight down. Nice pitch. And then was there another strikeout? Am I missing? So it was just, oh yeah, there's one more. Edward Julian, gonna get him with the changeup. His north-south approach, I mean, think about it. It's the Blue Jay way. Gosman, Savage, now Ponce. He's gonna learn a lot. He's gonna learn a lot from those guys. This is a nice changeup though. It's got weird action, huh? 3.3 and 7.5 is super weird, but it's low spin. Weird is good. If you locate down, that's a good spot. So, anyway, I wanted to watch that. All right, now let's check out Dollander since we're here. Dollander. I have no idea what's going on with Brendan Little, guys, except I think he just lost his confidence, by the way. So, before I even say anything. So, Dollander came in and pitched the last 4 innings of this game. He threw 74 pitches, averaged 98 on both of his fastballs. Ooh, he threw more sinkers. Good, because his sinker shape's very good. 19 inches of run on his sinker on average yesterday, which is great. Curveball, changeup, cutter. He actually had decent whiff percentage on all of his off-speed. So walk, ground out. All right, let me just speed through Dollander here for a minute.
Outside, ball 4.
All right, walk. Here's a sinker. I've been dying for him to lean into the sinker more. I know in Colorado it'll be muted, but it's got a great shape legitimately. Also, Tovar, my God. Nice play, Tovar. I thought Vlad would have beaten this out, but he got rid of this nicely. Nice play. Here's a four-seam to Barger. I feel like his arm slot looks a little lower, too. Up. And then a strikeout on a curveball of Kirk. That's a pretty nice pitch. It's more of a sweeper, but pretty nice pitch. I think this is a sweeper. -19. It's a really big difference in speed off of his fastball. All right, cutter here to Varsho. That's a slider. So he has a gyro slider and a sweeper that they're calling curveballs and cutters. I mean, come on, figure it out. Okamoto doors? I mean, that's gas. He looked great first 2 innings, huh? Ernie Clement, good swing, but right at Doyle. So 3 up, 3 down. In the second inning he pitches. Here's a homer. Jimenez gets him on a changeup. Man, he just didn't get this pitch low enough. Yeah, that down in ends up down in. Good metric on it. And again, you're up 13-1. I don't even really mind this home run, but interesting to see what gets hit, you know. All right, 1 and 2. Here's a changeup, strikeout of Springer. Nice pitch. I think he's looking good so far in this game, I have to be honest. All right, here's an out to Jesus. That play should have been made, so he should have had 2 quick outs in this inning. He does miss here. Like he needs to, the target needs to be higher and stay higher. I have no idea why you're dropping your glove here. This is a comeback attempt. This is bad catching. This is so you want to throw this ball up in this lane, and then you want to run it for the freeze over here, and then you want to have your happy accident. If you miss, be over here for the swing throw. But instead, he drops the glove, the ball comes out too low, and then the happy accident is not a happy accident. It's freaking right down Broadway. And so that's why that ball's able to get hit so hard, and why Tovar doesn't make the play. But he got screwed there. Either way, that should have been an out. Oop, Schneider gets him on a changeup. So both home runs on changeups. Not sure why he threw this pitch. Gotta watch this whole at bat now.
Here's Davis Schneider. His first at bat.
First pitch slider, strike. Second pitch combio, strike. Then he goes to the four seam.
Rally cap action going on.
Four seam again. I think he was on soft timing. They should have stayed hard. Instead, they go change up, and he misses down the middle. And you know what does Schneider want to do? Hit a pull side ball to left. That's what he does. Great swing by Schneider. I think poor reading there, but it should be a solo shot. He shouldn't have even had a man on. So I'm not mad about that either. Maybe not a perfect read of the at bat, but I'm not mad about it either. Wow, this is a 3-pitch strikeout. I think there's some anger balls in this at bat. Change up here, swing and miss. 100.7? Yeah, there were some anger balls here. Damn, that ball was lightning. And then a nasty slider down for the strikeout. So that was pretty dominant. Yeah, he was pissed after giving up that home run. I like it. Let it eat a little bit, kid. Show me a little bit of that anger. You got to pitch with it sometimes. And then he's going to get an out here of Kirk. So even though he's given up the 3 runs, I actually think he looks okay in this outing. Bad defense let him down, and 2 home runs on changeups he didn't locate. And then here's the 9th. That's a good location with the changeup on Lucas. Ground out there. And then does Okamoto clip him too? I don't even care about this home run, though. Again, you're up 10 runs. You got to throw strike 1. It's just unbelievable. The guy's trying to do everything right, and he's not getting any luck. 3 home runs. Great swing by Okamoto. Okamoto mashes 4-seamers down, huh? That's his 2nd homer. Both on 4-seamers down. Velocity doesn't seem to bug him at all. And he's got donkey power. 107.7. All right, first pitch hit to Ernie. That's just Ernie. I still think his strategy's good. Make him earn it, make him earn it. Now he's a little tired and probably annoyed. Walk. I'm making a lot of excuses for him, but I think they're valid. Here's the slider. Undresses Springer with that. Nice pitch. And then he's going to finish the game here with an out here. 4-seam in. Fly ball. All right, so he ends up having a shitty line. He gives up the 4 runs. But I don't think he pitched shitty at all. I really, really don't. I really, really don't. I think he was okay in this game. There were some signs here. I like what he mixed in. But the 3 home runs killed him. Obviously, with a huge lead, you're trying to pump strikes. You just got to take a mental note of what they're hitting. Mistake changeups, and then first pitch ambush fastballs. Keep an eye out for that. But he did throw a lot of good stuff in here, so I can't be totally down on this outing. I can't be. But at the same time, you know, you'd like for him to be a little less hittable, honestly. All right, stuff grades. 103 on the fastball, only 95 on the sinker. I like his sinker, so I'm going to go ahead and agree to disagree a little bit. I think he's going to have a good sinker. Changeup 103, curveball 110, cutter 111. He's got plenty of options. He's got plenty of stuff. 66% strikes. I don't know. Time to be encouraged. Time to be encouraged by Dollander, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, still too many home runs. No doubt about it. But I just feel like I don't know, it's such a weird scenario. You're up 10 in that game. You have to pound strikes. You're trying to land the plane. Let no other guys get to you. I don't like the pitch call, the way that they read it to Schneider there. I think also, you know, the bad play on the Sanchez ground ball cost him a run. Okamoto ambush, I can't really get mad about. Jimenez changeup home run, I can't even get mad about either. So it's okay. It's okay. We can live with some of that. What about Okamoto to the Mets? They should have been on him personally, but it didn't happen. Ponce was just trying to impress and just tried to do too much. Got to know your strengths. He tried to make a play. The kid tried to be an athlete, you know? Do 92 mile-an-hour changeups not play like mid-speed sinkers? Yeah, sort of, but like if you get them on the 100-mile-an-hour fastball, then the differential will still play for you. But like a first pitch changeup, yeah, to your point, it's kind of like a bad fastball at times. Yeah, because it's not fast and you don't have anything to change them up off of yet. So I agree with that. What happens in your guys' exit meeting? Do they tell you more numbers or talk about pitches? I think there's context to every situation. This is why I'm so a little bit disturbed by some of this pitch calling coming from the dugout. There's so much that changes pitch to pitch that I don't know how you can update your algorithm fast enough to account for it and how you can see anything from the dugout. So these teams that are sending in pitch choices from the dugout, it must all just be about usage optimization, you know, and specific batter weakness stuff. And personally, I'm not a fan of it. I think it sucks and should be out of the game. But now everybody's adopting it. I mean, the Mets were doing it yesterday, which is really dog shit, in my opinion. So we'll see how it plays out. We'll see if I'm proven right or not long term. I really think it's stupid, though. All right. Next up, I do want to watch some of that Detroit, Arizona, because I need to study up a little bit on Verlander, and also Soroka threw an immaculate inning in there. But people were asking me about Castillo versus the Yankees. I didn't get to watch any of this game, so let's see what worked for Castillo. We'll speed watch Castillo first. 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. On the video breakdown for Ponce, the ball hits a dead spot and didn't bounce on the field like he anticipated. That sucks. That sucks. He's just trying to make it. He's just trying to be a ball player here. It sucks that he has to worry about all sorts of turf monsters and all sorts of shit, but it sucks. Every team should have been in on Okamoto. I agree. I was high on him, right? I felt like I knew about it. Calling pitches from the dugout dummies down the catchers could lower their value. I mean, if they're going to find ways to lower everybody's value over time. These bastards. I think Miami versus Colorado was the only game that coaches called the entire game. What a loser situation. I can't possibly tell you how much I hate it. All right, Luis Castillo, 6 innings, 2 hits, 2 walks, 7 strikeouts. On the breakdown. 55% 4-seam, 32% slider, only 6 sinkers and 2 changeups in this game. So he dominated with 4-seam slider. It's very similar to what we saw with Emerson Hancock the other day on Sunday Night Baseball. The upshoot from the low release height is kind of Castillo's thing at this point. It's funny because he came up as a sinker pitcher. Now he's a 15-degree arm angle upshooter. So very similar to what we saw with Emerson Hancock. I'm assuming that played extremely well versus the Yankees in this game. But let's see. Seattle Mariners, New York, Bronx Bombers, who did not bomb yesterday. All right, Luis Castillo, Trent Grisham. Going to get him out with a fastball.
His 2-2. On the ground over to second base. Cut of the grass.
No ground out, first out there. Judgy, sinker to Judge. So one of the few times he used the sinker was the right on right. Perfect pitch. Jams the crap out of Judge. Can't let him get extended. If he's going to chase off the plate in, you got to let him do so. This is a perfect right on right sinker, especially with 0-1 count leverage. If he doesn't swing here, it's fine because then you can use that line to then break some shit back to the left. But if he does swing, there's almost no question that he's going to get beat, and that's what happens. Nice pitch. All right, and then slider to Cody. Oh, really good pitch to hit, just slices under it. So 3 up, 3 down in the first. Second inning. Ben Rice slider. It's so crazy because Castillo was just Mr. Changeup with the Reds. sinkers and changeups basically, and now he's evolved into this four-seam slider pitcher.
Castillo on a 2-2.
There's an example of that low slot up shooter. And Big G's just under it. Also really good location to kind of get in on the hands there. Here's a hit for no outs.
Sky towards shallow left field. Donovan, Rivas, a Rosarena, Donovan, pardon me, Rivas dropped the ball.
Okay, weird play there. Here's a strikeout on a slider of McMahon, little back footer. I also love the fist pump that Castillo does. This is a patented move now. All right, next. Strikeout of Wells. Fastball up.
Right? Pretty even keeled.
Yep, it's the same deal. It's the low slot rise ball. So 2 strikeouts on that already. Ooh, good challenge by Caballero here to get on with the walk. How close? Pretty far, actually, right? 1.2 inches. All right, first pitch out here to Grisham. Grisham got 2 pitches to hit and rolled them both over. Coming in a little flatter than I remember him. Ground out there. Then he's going to go ahead and walk Judge. Always a good idea when you fall behind. So they have something cooking, and now he's going to punch out belly up top. We should watch this whole at-bat, because this actually ends up being an important at-bat. First pitch strike down. That would have been the pitch to swing at. Then he goes to the slider. Gets the chase, gets to 0-2, and now he's going to try to get above the barrel. Let's see if they're both up. First one in, good take, and then the second one he throws it exactly where he wants to. Perfect location, just a really hard pitch to catch up to with that upshoot. Nice pitch. All right, 4th inning. And Rice slices off on a sinker. Pretty well hit, but it dies out there. Yeah, hit that 100, but he didn't get full backspin, got side spin. That ball died. 1 out there. 4-seam to Big G. Gets above the barrel, pops him up. Man, he hit that high. How high? 62 degrees. Oh my God, and it's a hit. Oh, but they get him out at second. Dang it. Was Big G running here? Let's track Big G down here. I mean, not that he can run fast anymore, but the hesitation costs him here a little bit, huh? Also, he just never really turns on the jets. Damn. All right. So now he's going to punch out Jazz. High heater? You bet. Same pitch. Same pitch. Up in the zone. Fastball. Beautiful pitch. All right. 5th inning.
You're right. Didn't go off and pitch anywhere. Just
McMahon roll over on the slider.
Castillo races to the bag.
I wonder if Castillo's hair weighs him down at all. So much heaviness to those dreads.
He got him.
Another fastball gets above the barrel of Wells. Caballero's going to get a hit here. Infield hit.
Back to the mound. A little
Oh, just didn't grab it. Infield hit. Is this a pickoff?
A wild throw, and
did they get him?
Naylor thought that he got a tag on there. Let's see.
They might have got him.
You're right. But nevertheless, he has.
Yeah, they did get him. 6th inning.
Grisham, as Castillo is back out.
Now Grisham swings at the 4-seam where he wanted to get it. Popped it up. Swinging strike here on a slider to Judge. Let's watch this whole at bat as he punches out Judge. Oh, what the hell was that? All right, let's watch this whole at bat. First pitch slider. Taken. Judge clearly looking for heater there. They doesn't swing at that. Slider again. Man, that ball just backed up. I get why Judgy swung at this. He sees it pop in this lane, and he expects it to nestle down the middle here. And instead, it comes in here. So pulls it foul, gets to 0-2. Slider again. And that one does go left. And then this one's even weirder. This one just completely backs up.
Here comes the 1-2.
And Judge doesn't know what to do, but kind of half checks and they call him out. I think he was surprised that he got called out here. Did he swing? Yeah, he probably swung, right? God, what a weird pitch, though. All right, Bellinger. Four seam up. Yep, gets above the barrel again. So yeah, it was just like a couple good pitches to hit that I noticed there that they got out on. Grisham got a couple to hit. Other than that, he did a really good job of getting above the barrel. You know, not all that different from what Hancock was doing yesterday. And I think, you know, it's a really good weapon for guys with low slots to use. Utilize that angle, throw up in the zone. A lot of guys, the pitch is going to look juicy coming in. Guys are going to swing a little bigger than they should, and they're going to get under a lot of balls, and it's going to speed them up for the other stuff. So, to me, it's interesting the development of Castillo over time, you know, being that he was one type of pitcher, now he's another type of pitcher, and that a lot of that's even rubbing off on his teammates, as we saw with Hancock the other day. Yankees went 5 for 5 on challenges last night. They are dominating in the challenge business. And I think this is like a big thing now. If you can be great collectively as a team with your challenges, that's going to swing ball games for you, no doubt about it, right? All right, we have some more chatter here. As a player, where does the line stop between analytics helping the game and hurting the pitch-to-pitch value of a pitcher's own knowledge of the hitter? It's not about always like the pitcher's knowledge of the hitter. It's the pitcher's understanding of a couple variables here. Number one, how convicted are they feeling on each pitch type that they have? I don't care whether it's the right pitch analytically. If you don't feel strongly about throwing it in that moment, you're probably not going to execute very well, and it's not going to be your best rep. I think that's an issue. I also think, how does the dugout understand what's happening in the cat and mouse between the pitcher and the batter? They don't have a good angle. They don't see where the pitches were, whether the guy's in swing mode, what the foul ball information gave you. They don't have any of that visual data to kind of bring into the moment. And I've spoken a lot about it. I think a lot of the edges in Major League Baseball are accumulated pitch to pitch. You can go ahead and pre-plan all you want, but there's a lot of pitch to pitch things that kind of separate the men from the boys in the big leagues. And I think if you're not going to pick up any of those details, you could be leaving some on the table. I also think it's a terrible message. Like, you want your players playing the game. Of course you can prepare, but once the lights come on, I think the sport should be played by the players. All the decisions should be made by the players. Like, NBA doesn't have an earpiece in Jokic's fucking ear, and like he gets the ball in the post and they're like, swing to the corner. Like, he has to read the field, read the court, and make plays. And I think that's part of the beauty of sport. And now we're taking that away. Who would want to play baseball if you're not allowed to make any choices on your own? To me, it just sucks. There is something to be said for understanding what works against a hitter that might not speak loudly in an analytics report. Well, sometimes the moment calls for something that the report didn't have, and you should have the ability to tap into that. That's all. Castillo adapting to launch angle tread. Yeah, I mean, but in general, the pitch up in the zone has always been valuable, right above the zone. But we've realized that if you go from a low slot, you can create even more of an uphill approach angle, and that's really tough to combat. So guys there was one era of time, there's like a little span of time where everything was about induced vertical break. So like they would see guys with low slots like myself, and they would see a number 13 or 14, and they would say, you should never throw your fastball, it's a terrible pitch. But located up in the zone where it has a really outlier vertical approach angle, we've now learned that that's a quite effective pitch. So you see guys like Castillo, Hancock, Paul Sewald, they utilize that. Low slot ride, Brian Wu, a lot of guys. So it's become more of a more part of the game. Castillo always seems to dominate Yankees after they didn't pull the trigger to trade for him. I thought he would have been a nice piece. I guess they didn't want to give up what it would have taken at the time. Just throw Stanton a bag of chips and ask him to open it. Poor guy. Poor guy. How does his hat stay on with all that hair, but everyone's helmet pops up as soon as the player clears his hips? I don't know how the hat stays on with his dreads. He's got some serious dreads. Non-game specific, but how has the NBC experience been different than, say, what you've done with SNY or other TV platforms? Well, I'm in-game, which is a big difference, which is awesome. I'm working with this legend, Bruce Kornblad, who's helping me. Was one of Costas's guys. He's helping me, kind of work through my my approach, how I'm going to go about it. He's been awesome with me. NBC in general, I think that they're doing a nice job. I think I like the model of the local broadcasters bringing the flavor to each broadcast and then also having some constant like myself. I know Dexter Fowler will be with me in Detroit on this next one, giving his insights. Obviously, Kershaw down the line. I think it's good to have some constant like Benetti and then like the guys like us, but then also the people that are bringing in the local flavor. And I think the production value has been outstanding so far. Every pitch has to be thrown with conviction. Doesn't matter what analytics tell you. That's fact. I mean, you have to throw pitches with conviction. Was only 11 pitches, but came to see Fernando Cruz from this game. Sure, we'll watch Fernando. Did he come in with runners on again and have to get out of it? He sure did. He's the fireman. So second and third, one out. Let's watch him wiggle out with all splitters. First up is my fellow Paisan, Dominic Canzone. All right, split ball one. Wow, he gets him to swing at that. Holy shit. His splitter's so good. If you can get a guy to swing at a pitch that bounces at the plate, you've done a good job. Nasty. All right, 1-1. Splitter again. Does he throw every pitch splitter in this sequence? Dirty again, swing and miss. Splitter again.
Here comes the 1-2.
This time he takes it. Splitter again.
The 2-2.
Takes it again. Splitter again. So 6 splitters in this at-bat. Gets him the first strikeout. It's just devastating. 420 spin. I do compare it a lot to Roki's, although it seems like Fernando has a little better command of his. But that's just a wipeout. That's a wipeout splitter. All right, next batter. Is it all splitters to Julio? Shout out to Julio for being good and doing the interview with us the other day. That was great. Splitter, strike one. Here's another split. Splitter ball. Oh, sinker. That would have chewed him up had he swung at it. So I like that they kept him honest there. Splitter again. Dude, the swings he gets. Look how much it moves. This is a freaking great pitch, man. What a stud. And then he's going to punch him with a split. Does he go crazy too?
2-2.
Oh my God. That was -3 vert. That was disgusting. Let me see the center field cam if he goes crazy. Not really, but he did his job. Nasty, nasty, nasty. This pitch is insane, guys.
2-2.
I don't know how Julio laid off that. I know he's looking for split, but look how high in the zone this is till right there before it starts diving. He definitely went, huh? Yeah, he went. That's so freaking gross. And then we should watch Rivas is in the way, but his delivery is so crazy. He kind of like jumps out of it at the end. Great job, though. And he's a very interesting fireman because he's such a good guy at getting swing and miss. Big fan of Cruz. Glad we watched that. That was nasty. Literally only one pitch non-splitter. So gross. Yankees got Montas instead of Castillo. The local additions make the broadcast a million times better. Totally agree to that. How much of pitching is sequencing versus stuff plus? It's both. It's both. I mean, but there's I have them written down, so one day I'll make a video on this to talk about it. But I have 10 things that matter in pitching, not just your stuff and velocity. I have 10 things, so it's all part of it. Mets game is a must-watch tonight with Senga pitching. Yep. All right, Fernando Cruz, Puerto Rico, Team Boricua, Team Rubio. So he didn't go crazy. If he swung, he would have gone full crazy. I agree. Yeah, Carter Capps, cheater, absolute cheater. Never liked it, even though he was gross for 1 year. He's stepping like an extra foot forward. That was insane. Jordan Walden also did a slide, but his was a little bit less illegal. Okay. Next up, now that we've finished this game, next up I think is that Detroit-Arizona game, because I want to watch a little bit of both of the pitchers. I need to watch both of them because I have to study up on Verlander. If everything holds tight, he'll make his first start back in Detroit on Sunday when I'll be doing the game. So I need to study up on him. I know he didn't have a good game in this one. But also Soroka, 5 innings, 4 hits, 1 walk, 10 strikeouts, including an immaculate inning. So I'm curious to see that. Let's go to the breakdowns. First, I'm going to look at Soroka here. 43% slurve. You don't see a lot of slurve with 45% whiff. 34% four-seamer. Another guy who completely changed. He was sinker changeup when he was with the Braves, and he was an elite youngster. And now he's a completely different pitcher with more velocity, and he looks pretty good. Thought he looked great in that Canada versus USA game. Got kind of a raw deal. And, you know, Bobby Witt put like an 11-pitch at-bat on him first bat of the game. But Soroka's been on the upswing, so it's interesting to watch. All right, Diamondbacks and Tigers. All right, first batter of the game, Kerry Carpenter is going to punch him with a four-seam. Doors.
Swing and a miss, and a good start for Michael Soroka.
And now he's going to walk Labor. Like, this camera angle sucks. We were talking about camera angles earlier. Not good. Called strike here. Who's that, Colt Keith? Yep. Catches him looking on the low fastball. Most four-seam freezes are bottom rail. Nice pitch there. And then here's a hit by Riley Green, who came out of the gate struggling. But gets a hit here. And then he'll get out of the first inning with this slurve to Torkelson. Little chopper. Here comes Nolan. Oh, God, Nolan. He got there. Nice play. All right, good first inning. Second inning. McGonigal. Nobody can get this guy out. Oh, he got out there. Good swing, though. Strikeout of Dingler, a.k.a. Dingleberry. Good pitch. This is a nice pitch. I like his slurve. It's a curveball. It's a little bit between a sweeper and a curveball. Pretty good velo on it. Parker Meadows slices a changeup the other way, so giving up 2 hits on some slice balls so far. Green and Meadows. Called strike 3. Gonna run a sinker back here. I don't know what Javi was looking for. That's right down the middle. Like, that's right there. All right. Third inning. Leadoff hit here from Kerry Carpenter. Ooh, gets on top of a fastball. That's good to see from Carpenter because he can be quite scoopy at times too. Base hit. Glaber. Bad pitch, good swing, but that's deep. Alec Thomas is out there. How hard he hit that? Only 98. Here's a hit. Colt Keith on a cutter. Ooh, does this one make it to the wall? This ball's well touched. Oh, good job by Lawler. Backing that up. No run scores. Yeah, watch Lawler here. Watch him go back it up. This is good. This is a good job. Don't be lazy. Both guys backing it up. And that saved a run. Good job. Good baseball. Good fundamentals. All right, 3-2. Big at bat. Big strikeout. Oh, catches him looking on the inside corner. Nice pitch. And how can he get out of this inning? Yup, with the strikeout of Torkelson. Nasty sweeper. Let's watch this whole at bat because he wiggles out of this with strikeout. First pitch slurve ball. Second pitch slurve ball. What's up, kid? I don't know. Soon? We got a couple more guys to look at. Within half hour. And then we'll go. We're going to go where to Cherry Lawn?
Swing and a miss on the slurve. What a
This is a really good slurve right here after the 2 sinkers that kind of make him respect the ball coming out of the outer lane. And it's got heavy drop to it. That's a nice pitch. -14, -10. Good inning there. Is this the immaculate inning? Let's watch it. McGonigal. First pitch slurve. Strike. Second pitch slurve. Ball. It's not the immaculate inning, so we'll get there eventually. Roll over to second. Hey, McGonigal got out twice. All right, next up, strikeout of Dingle. The slurve's really good when he gets it down away from those righties. So a 1-2-3 inning here in the 4th. Just keep having him hit it to center. It's deep out there. Nice play there. All right, 5th inning. All right, here's got to be the immaculate inning. Here we go. Starts with Baez. First pitch sinker in for a strike. Second pitch slurve. Strike 2. Third pitch slurve. Probably going to chase. Very nice. Next up, Carpenter. Slurve strike. This is a good pitch, this slurve. It's interesting that it's his primary now. Strike 2. Strike 3. Slurve, slurve, slurve. Get the center field cam on that. Oh, get some back foot. So, riding the slurve to immaculate inning. Cutter. Swing and miss. Sinker. Perfect pitch. Foul ball. Slurve probably. Oh no. 4-seam. He's going for glory with the 4-seam. I love it. Doors. Immaculate inning. How rare is that? Man, he looks good. He looks really good in this game. So he finishes his outing with an immaculate inning. Nice job, Mike. Nice first outing for the D-backs for Soroka, I have to say. Very, 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 very encouraging. The slurve's a good pitch. Slurve's a very good pitch. He got 9 whiffs on 20 swings on that, plus another 10 called strikes. That's a really good pitch. What do we got on his stuff here? All right, Mike Soroka. They're saying it's basically league average across the board. .67% strike, 12 whiffs, only 1 walk, 10 Ks. I mean, this is a great outing. So he was really coming with it. He pitched really well. Nice job by Soroka. All right, let's check out JV now. Time out. Let me go back to his stuff here. All right, JV. JV got touched up a little bit in this game, so I have to watch that. But let's see. He averaged 93.2 on the 4-seam, so it's fine. 43% 4-seam, 28% slider, 18% curveball, 10% changeup, and then 2 sweepers. Sweeper being a new thing. Sinker occasional is a new thing. But yeah, 4-seam slider curveball is kind of who he's been for a while now. All right, same game. Verlander. Let's see what got hit in this game. All right, Ketel Marte leads off with a hit on a curveball, almost kills him. Base hit there, and then a 2-run home run right away by Corbin Carroll on a fastball. Jeez, down in, not even a strike. Oh, it's not a home run either. I think he clips him later, though. God, look at this face. Look at this face. I'm taking a picture of that. Corbin Carroll face. Oh! Oh! Yeah. All right, so single on a curveball, whacked on a fastball down in, and then a walk to Perdomo. So first inning gets off to a tough start. Really tough start. Here is Moreno.
Moreno reaches down, pokes it to short. Baez will get 1, and they can't turn 2. Trying to get
Nolan.
Going here, down 1 and 2.
Should be a double play. Nope, only gets the 1 out.
Gets behind Torkelson.
And then he gets it out here on changeup. What's the changeup? 6.9 vert. Looked like to me like he slowed down a little bit on this one. All right, next inning. Out on a slider. How old is JV now? 43? 44? Pretty good contact there for the out. Here's a hit. Slider base hit. Another really good swing. He's looking a little vulnerable right now versus lefties, I have to say. Another really good contact on a breaking ball. Curveball and slider aren't really fooling anybody yet. Four seam. Gets Marte to pop it up. Oh, nice play by Baez. In play runs here to Corbin Carroll. There's the home run, slider. So Corbin Carroll, man, you got to pitch him more up in the zone. Both of these pitches have been down in that he's whacked. Let's watch this hole at bat because this kind of crushes JV. See the approach here. 2 outs, too. First pitch, fastball. Strike down in, but he meant to go up in. So command just a little off. Slider off of that. Non-competitive down, and then slider again. He just never got his eyes anywhere but down in. Great swing by Carroll. Carroll's a beast. 107.8 at 37, and the breaking pitches don't seem quite right to JV at the in this game. Not fooling anyone. 3-run homer there. All right, first pitch out here to Perdomo, but also a pretty good swing. The swings were very, very good against JV so far in this game. In play, no out here. Another hard hit. Here's an out to Nolan. Another hard hit, just misses it. Got off the end just a hair. I'll be curious to see how he looks when he comes out on Sunday, because not fooling anybody in this game. There's a strikeout on a curveball. Okay. There we go. First 2 little bits of weird contact there. Pop up.
Hey.
Hey, babe.
We're gonna get a DJ board. A DJ controller.
Don't we have one?
Oh.
Okay.
Do you like that?
Yeah, I'm not gonna do it, but
Davis is a DJ.
I know, Davis the DJ. Yeah.
He's gonna DJ. DJ bounced up the middle. McGonigal comes over from third. Cool.
Yeah, and then we'll have to pay 14 different artists for their license. So, pop up to left.
Why do you have to just crush my dream?
I'm sorry. There's one of the rare sweepers. That's a pop up there. So he looked a little better here in this 4th inning, I'll say. Still grind him down for a walk. And then they end up pulling him. All right, 79 pitches. Not what we're used to seeing out of JV. But he's so good at making adjustments week to week. So curious what he comes out looking like next week. But, I mean, his stuff has definitely come back to like kind of the average, league average. Like there's nothing really spectacular anymore about his stuff. It's just more about the know-how, but he wasn't fooling anybody in this game. Only 6 whiffs and 19 batters. Did throw some strikes. Fastball's got good IVB, but the stuff now with the velocity and everything, down to about league average. Slider, same. Changeup's grading out as his best pitch right now. So he's just in a different phase of his career. He's got to really locate. But he was definitely not fooling any of these Diamondbacks in this game. So interesting to see that. All right, yeah, Lance probably next. We'll watch Lance next. Yeah. All right, let me just see what we got in here. I just noticed the Dugout app has the ABS button in the video player. Does that show the ABS location for each pitch? Yes, each pitch, whether challenged or not. Correct. So that's great. John, agree with a lot of your points regarding the pitch calling from the dugout. I like that they're still allowing pitchers to shake at their discretion. Yeah, I mean, thank God. It's a slippery slope. It's a slippery slope. And like the know-how out there is one of the separators in this sport. If you make it all about stuff only, and then the team is gonna call all the pitches all the time, and that's like becomes universal, like everybody's just getting treated like a robot out there. You know, throw what we tell you to throw, and then you don't have any development time where you learn any of the nuance, then stuff will be even more important than ever, and we'll keep chasing crazy numbers, and guys will keep getting hurt. I think it's all a bad idea, but I understand why organizations go for it, because they're looking for an edge, and definitely if you test drive this in the minor leagues, it's probably going to work, because there's so much less pitch-to-pitch adjustments being made in the minor leagues. There's so much less information, so, you know, just optimizing for your pitches should help you. for your percentages, the way that make the most sense should help you. But fundamentally, and I've said this a lot, I strongly believe, I'll take it to the grave, I'll die on the hill, that the big league game is played much more pitch to pitch, and you have to actually have some know-how to stick and last in the league. And if you don't have that, you don't have the ability to kind of read at bats as they go, then I think that could be a slippery slope for a lot of guys. And I'm not a big fan of that for a lot of reasons. Okay, what else we got here? Dan Plesac made a great comp on the other day for MLB and said McGonigal looks like Brian Giles at the plate. Yeah, I mean, 2 short lefties. Giles was a little more of a power guy, no? Guess I'd have to look that up, but I like McGonigal so much. So far, he's just him, you know? It's funny, Soroka is a really solid pitcher, but he's had almost no interest in the free agent market. Solid ad for D-backs. They actually paid him pretty decent, right? What's he getting, like 7 or 8 million? So not no action, but no exciting action. Exciting, like, big-time money. People are worried about his durability because he's missed more than he played due to freak injuries. He did have some tough injuries, some Achilles stuff you can't really control that well, especially when you're younger. Yeah, league average at 43 is not bad for him. His stuff metrics. Hey, yo, rumor has it that in 10 years MSG is moving so Penn Station can be worked on. I don't know. I'm not Robert Moses with the city planning. I don't know. All right, we want to look at McCullers, and then I think we're almost done for the day. There wasn't like a ton of amazing offensive performances to break down yesterday either, like individual offensive performances. So obviously it's been heavy pitching. We're mostly heavy pitching anyway, but all right, McCullers, 7 innings, 4 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, 9 strikeouts. Player breakdown. So he's sitting 92 with the heater. 33% sinker, 25% cutter, 21% knuckle curve. That's the pitch that made him famous. 8% changeup, which he's got a pretty good changeup. 4 seam, 8% sweeper, 4%. He's kind of going away from that sweeper. At one point, he was throwing a very hard version of the sweeper that might have contributed a little bit to his injury problems, but unclear. All right, Houston and Boston. Good for him going deep in this game, too. All right, 3-pitch strikeout of Roman to start the game. First pitch, 4-seam, foul ball. Second pitch, cutter. Threw a lot of these. Backdoor, nice execution with that cutter. And then another one for strike 3. Going to that up and away cutter finish. This is a big-time finish pitch for righties versus lefties if you can do it. A lot of swing unders here. Also interesting that his cutter is almost as fast as his fastball, so that makes me like his cutter a little bit more. All right, strikeout there and a strikeout here of Story. Change up down, see ya. Sorry it took so long. All right, in play outs to Duran on a cutter. Got lucky here that this went all the way across the zone. The location target intended was up and away. So 3 up, 3 down in the first for Lance. Here's a strikeout on a changeup to Contreras. So first 2 punches of the game are, to righties at least, are right-on-right changeups. This is devastating. This is a great pitch.
Including Game 7 of the World Series in 2017.
He's nowhere near that. Nice execution. And Lance is such a good pitch maker and such a smart pitcher. The health has always been the main issue with him. So you just give him a little bit of health and a good wide range of pitch choices, and he's going to be able to work through lineups a lot. This is a called strike 3. Sinker, might be a changeup, not sure. Also not sure what a Brave's looking for there. See you later. And then an in-play outs to Durbin. Sinker. Roll over to Correa, who's at short for this game. Very nice first 2 innings. First pitch out to Marcelo Meyer. Rolls over a sinker. 1 up, 1 down in the third. Back to the well, no, very bottom of the order still here. Narvaez goes to that right and right changeup. This one doesn't locate it down. Gives up a knock. A sinker to Rafaela. Good location. Should be 2, although he's fast. Gets a double play. Nice pitch. I love the right on right sinker in a double play situation in this location. If you beat him just a little bit, this is always going to be a ground ball. Anything right there. That's exactly where this pitch goes. Gets the double play.
Ground ball towards third. Nice pick by Paredes. Goes to Altuve.
Lance really saved our bullpen. They were all used up prior to yesterday. So he needed to give him length, and he did give him length. That's massively valuable at times throughout a season. All right, back to the top of the order. Knuckle curve coming to Roman. Good pitch to hit. Got lucky he didn't get clipped here. Top spun it. Cam Smith with the catch out there. This is a dangerous pitch, but Roman comes through this ball a little weird.
Hits this ball high in the air to right field. Cam Smith near the wall, and he makes the...
All right, next up, strikeout on a sweeper of Story.
Got him.
Ooh, really good sweeper. At one point, this was his jam as well. Just gets Story chasing off the edge. Very nice pitch.
Got him. Lance now has...
All right, next up is a strikeout of Duran.
Got him.
Gets him to swing over the top. So pretty dominant first 3 innings from McCullers. 4th inning, strikeout, another right-on-right changeup. So he gets Contreras twice on right-on-right changeups. Really good pitch here.
15.2%. Swing and a miss. Give him 7.
Nasty. He looks great, guys. He looks great. No velo, but looks healthy enough to rip all of his different pitch types.
Matthews, he won't be able to get there in time.
Blue pit there.
For a hit, not slight difference in payroll.
3-1 count to Durbin. He's going to trust his sinker.
3-1 pitch grounded to short.
Yep, there's that same pitch. Going to be another double play. What did I say about when you need those ground balls right on right with the sinker, right? You want to get right into that spot. Gets it there. Even on a 3-1 count, Durbin can't beat him to the spot.
3-1 pitch grounded to short. It's going to be Correa.
Rolls it over. Altuve, Correa, Walker. Through the 4th. On to the 5th. Actually, this is the 6th. Marcelo Meyer, first pitch. Well, gets out on a changeup. Rolled him over on a sinker in the first at-bat. Changeup on the second. Great fucking play here by Correa. Look where is Correa? How far did he go on this? My goodness.
Room for them to stretch out.
Tough play, Correa spinning through.
Dude, that's an incredible play. Great play by Correa. Swinging strikeout of Narvaez. Sweeper.
How about Lance?
Nasty. So it's crazy how you can get chased on a sweeper like this when you don't show it a lot. When it becomes more part of your game, they almost never swing at it. But he's gotten some good chase off the plate on sweepers in this game. Probably because he threw it a little less often. And then he gets a first pitch out here to end the 6th. Sinker into Rafaela, popped it up. Correa is there, so a dominant first 6 innings. Let's see the 7th. I think he gives up 1 run, right? Back to the top of the order, 3rd time through. Roman with the rollover. Altuve makes the play, 1 out. Ooh, Story's going to get him here on the fastball.
Trevor Story hits the ball over the head.
Pulls his hands in, very nice. Get on 2, Trev. Ooh. I think he might have made it. Yeah, he made it. Nice slide by Story. Then we got a walk of Duran. Oh, man, so close to missing. He thought he had it. Look at that.
Two runners have been on in any.
All right, sinker here. So 1st and 2nd, 1 out. Contreras got beat with changeups twice. Oh, this could have been a double play to end the inning, but instead they'll get the 1 out. Nice play by Correa. Now they are going to get the first run of the game here. First pitch cutter to Abreu. This is the dangerous thing about the backdoor cutter is if you do leak it over the middle, you can get this pitch can get hammered. This is the 2nd one of these that I've seen him throw in this game. So he kind of gets away with a couple pitches. So I can't completely give him all the credit in this game. You got to give a little discredit to the Red Sox, but he also located pretty well a lot of these pitches. Like that's a really good knuckle curve. As he finishes out the 7th. This is the big at-bat of the game. Let's watch this whole at-bat versus Yoshida. 2 on, 2 out, 7th inning, deep pitch count. They trust him to stay in. Curveball dirt. Curveball swing and miss. Cutter up away again. Ooh, backdoor first strike. So 1-2. Gonna probably try to knuckle curve his way out of this, I would guess.
drive right field, and that is a
Oh
foul
my God.
ball.
Great swing by Yoshida, just foul. Oh, it's more foul than I thought.
And that either way.
Elevated cutter or cutter
Knuckle
on the
curve
outside
here.
edge. Back to the curve.
Ball down. Cutter back door. And then he finally finishes him with this good curveball below zone. So when he needs to go swing and miss, he knows what he's going to go with. And he gets the job done. Big time pitching from Mcullers. Great first outing of the season by Lance. Welcome back to being healthy at the beginning of a year. Huge outing for Mcullers. He looked good. I thought he looked good. I mean, his stuff's not what it used to be. But overall, like, he's got a ton of know-how. When in doubt, he can go to that knuckle curve as much as he needs to. Interesting that up and away cutter location was his jam. So has this, you see, like the two breaking pitches are super above average. The sweeper 118, which he'd use sparingly in this one. I think that's partially a health thing. And then the knuckle curve at 108 stuff grade. And then the cutter that he's added, 102. So yeah, the fastballs are not really like grading out very well. He doesn't have very much velocity, but if he makes good pitch decisions, he has enough of a mix here to kind of work his way through a lot of stuff. What's up, June? Boston has been scared of Durbin's bat speed or lack thereof. Any thoughts? Yeah, all right, let's do a quick dive on Durbin, and then I'm going to say goodbye for the day. Thanks for the question. So, Caleb Durbin as a baseball player, we're going to have to look at his stuff from last year. Bat tracking. Caleb Durbin. 65.9 mile an hour bat speed this year. Let me update to multiple years, see if there's any trend going on here. Minimum swings, 25, update. Group by season. Hold on, I got to do a couple little adjustments here to make sure we get the right thing. I don't think Durbin was ever like a really high speed bat speed guy, but obviously that's like the Red Sox are very like big on metrics like that. All right, so he has lost 2 miles an hour coming into this year. Let's see here. I mean, it's a very small sample still this year, but so far bat speed is down 2 miles an hour for Durbin. Swing length, he's got a little bit of a shorter swing, but that's a little bit of a trade-off that he doesn't necessarily need to make. He didn't have a long swing to begin with, but 6.5, and now it's, instead of being a little closer to league average, that's pretty low bat speed, which is going to hurt his ability to make, to have any pop in his bat. Let me go look at the other leaderboard here, which I don't know why they don't have this all grouped together. They really should, but we'll go 2025 to 2026, group by season. Swings 25, update. I want to see if there's any other swing changes for Durbin here. All right, Caleb Durbin. Attack angle 8 degrees. So this was him last year. 28% swing path, so a little flatter than league average, slightly grooved to the pull side, which I think they like. Attack angle 8, which means a little more scoop, and the bat speed's 68. Whereas this year, his attack angle 6, so that's a little flatter, and he's also, so far, the direction is oppo and a slower bat speed. So I think it's a combination of all of these things that they're a little concerned about. The idea with Durbin, especially what the Red Sox are gonna preach, is to pull the ball in the air and hit the ball hard, right? You got Fenway Park. He's a short, compact guy. He's gonna get pitched up a lot. And in a lot. They want him to be able to beat guys to the spot and catch them out front. And right now, in the small sample, he's been actually more attack direction towards oppo, and he's been a little flatter, so he's not going to get the ball in the air as much. Also, the bat speed just generally when you have less bat speed, it lowers your ceiling in terms of slugging percentage output potential. Like you need to hit the ball hard to hit the ball over the fence or to burn outfielders and stuff like that. So any little bit of bat speed drop is concerning, especially when he was already below average. And now he's crept even a little bit more below average at 65.9. Not good. Not a good sign there, but it's early, so we'll see. But that's the stuff that the Red Sox are going to track. Let's see if he can flip that around or if it really affects his actual production because it's still early. Still early to go. That's my early read on him, on Caleb Durbin. This was his swing from last year. He needs to be a pull side guy. He doesn't have enough juice to go oppo anyway, so. What about his tilt this year? Is that the same? Coming in a little flatter on the tilt as well. I don't mind that as much. But for a guy like this, if they want him to hit extra base hits, he's got to hit pull fly balls. So that's probably what they're the most concerned about. That would be my guess. Hope that answers your question, June. June's the best. Go check out his stuff on YouTube. I am June Lee. He's the man. What else we got here? Would love a quick review on Suarez and Oviedo. Please, us Sox fans are anxious. All right, fine. Let's just see what the pitches were real quick. And then we're done for the day. Last thing, and I'll do probables. First, let me go look at the breakdown. Try not to watch every game, but we'll see. So box score, Suarez 4 1/3, 4 hits, 1 walk, 3 strikeouts, 2 homers. Oviedo 6 hits and only 3 1/3, 2 homers as well. Player breakdown, Suarez's velocity is a key thing to focus on. Average 91.6 with a 4-seam, 90.6 with a sinker, so similar to last year. He can pitch with that much velocity, but, obviously you'd like to do better. He did horrible in the whiff department. 1 whiff on 13 swings on cutter, 1 of 9 on sinker, 1 of 3 on changeup, 0 for 4 on fastball. Did get a few on curveball. Oviedo, also really bad job on whiffs, only 5 whiffs total in this game. His velocity's down big time from where it was when he was with the Pirates. His shape has been bad. I remember I did not like the way he looked the other day. His last spring outing, I said, there's no wonder that Connolly Early's getting the spot. It makes sense. All right, Suarez. Let's watch the hits. First pitch, sinker. You know who doesn't have low bat speed? Yordan Alvarez. Yeah, no shit, bro. He's like, guy's a freaking beast. He's a beast. All right, so this is a hit where Story tries to make the play. When you were playing, would you study hitters on Savant? A little bit, but I use a lot of True Media, stuff that the team would provide. But for the most part, to be honest with you, relief pitchers, we try to pitch to our strengths until the batter proves that they can beat us, and then we adjust accordingly. So I had a lot of previous matchups versus other guys that bled into it, and I like to go pitch to pitch. To me, I made sometimes some, like I was convicted on 0-0 what I wanted to throw, but then from there I read the at-bat. Speaking of bat speed, like you mentioned, Yordan, 110.8 laser beam here. So hit to start the game. And another hit here to Paredes. Just missing middle. He lives on the edges, but he's missed middle on 2 of the first 3 hits. So it doesn't look like too much of a stuff thing, just an execution thing in the early going here. In-play runs, cutter. That was a good pitch. And they do get the double play. So that was a good pitch. And then he gets an out here to Walker. So two well-located cutters up in, but he messed up on a couple sinkers down the middle. So that was the first inning. All right, when does he give up more runs? 1, 2, 3 in the pretty good inning in the second. All right, third inning. Back to the top of the order, Altuve. Let's see if this is another leaker over the middle. It's actually a perfect pitch. Got to give credit to Altuve for blocking that off, and kind of a lucky hit. Oh my God, did you see him just give the stop sign to Abreu out there? Look at the target here. Look how far in, because he missed over the middle early in the game. So I like the fact that Narvi went in here for the target, because he's like really reinforcing, make this pitch. Don't throw it down the middle. He ends up throwing it on the corner, but Altuve kind of blocks it off. But watch Altuve running and throws up the hand. No! Woo! Look, he throws up the hand to his fellow Venezuelan out there and right. That's great. All right, and here comes the home run. Jordan, first pitch cutter.
Luke Gehrig and Babe Ruth. Is that good?
Ball one, second pitch cutter,
I say this to
destroyed.
opposing broadcasters sometimes. I'm waiting. Oh,
Yeah, it just doesn't hit his spot. And you can't do that against Jordan. He's too freaking good. It's an absolute tank. 108.8, so Jordan's a bad matchup for anybody. He got victimized right there. All right, what's the next home run? Is Bryce Matthews. So let's watch this hole at
The
bat.
highest as far as level, he's going to be starting
First
out at
pitch,
double
sinker,
A.
ball.
Other names in front of him.
You know, Ranger Suarez, once he gets in his groove, midseason form, he's going to have a lot of outings where pitching looks really easy. That's one of the hallmarks of his game. But given where his velo's at these days, basically 90 miles an hour, he has to be on his game. He cannot afford to make mistakes over the plate. And when he does, he's going to pay for them like that as well.
That ball hit well to left center field.
Bryce Matthews, see ya. So 2 home runs, Jordan, that happens to everyone, and this one's just a really bad count. So that's what I got on Suarez. As for Oviedo, let's see when he gives it up. Hit by pitch. He also was showcasing pretty poor command in the last time we watched him as well. I'd be a little worried about Oviedo if I'm a Red Sox team or fan. They're gonna have to get him figured out. The velocity's way down. The shape of the fastball is like disturbing. I mean, this one's a little better, but it was really, really bad in the game we watched against the Blue Jays in spring training. Like, I have no idea what to even make of it. All right, so there's a double. Here's a Jake Myers single. Just not beating anybody, really. That's a pretty good pitch location, too. Myers stays through it nicely. Sac fly, fly out. All right, here's the Altuve home run. First pitch, got clipped on a first pitch by Altuve.
Bullpen being used quite a bit. Get out of
Yep, see ya. You always got to watch out for the first pitch swing by Altuve, no matter what. I don't mind this one as much. This is an ambush. It's just more of this is what makes Altuve a Hall of Famer. You know, he's not going to give you a free strike. He's going to take your ass deep. Good swing by Jose. And then he actually clips him again later. Let's watch this hit. Christian Walker. First pitch.
26 of them over the last 3 games.
Another really bad location. Just middle, down. Almost a home run there. Got lucky it wasn't a home run. So in the past, Oviedo's been a guy with like really good stuff and no command. Now it's kind of like the stuff's not really as there as much either. So that's a little concerning. Here's the second home run by Altuve.
Cap off a perfect night. He has a single run scored.
First pitch, four-seamer. Ball.
That early
second pitch,
OPS
sinker.
1170 on the year.
Middle, fouled away, and his sinker shape is so bizarre. And then he's going to get him on a fastball.
2,400 in his career.
Just misses right down the middle again. So it's a combination of like he's really not nasty at the moment, but he also doesn't really have his command either. So I'm a little worried about Oviedo personally. Let me reload this page. Personally, I'm a little worried about him. I would say that. All right, what do you got for Oviedo here? Yeah, I mean, look at completely below average on every single pitch except for four-seam. Velocity is not a factor anymore. I mean, he threw enough strikes, but there's no command within the zone. There's a reason why he didn't win that spot. He's still a project. They can work on him, but he doesn't have it going right now. He definitely does not have it going right now. As for Suarez, look, these numbers are going to be bad, but he's more of a command guy. And he didn't have his best command yet either. So I'm gonna leave the jury out on Ranger for a bit because I've seen him and I know what he can do. But Oviedo, I'm genuinely concerned about a little bit. We'll hold our judgment off on Ranger right now, but Oviedo, I'm a little concerned for sure. And look, the Red Sox are now what 1-3 to start the year. Not a great start to the season the way that they wanted. So we'll see. Just like Ozzie Albies and how he stole Ozuna's bat one year, and it's a lot bigger than Albies, but his logic was if he keeps his barrel in the zone for as long as possible, he wants to be able to hack. I don't know, it's kind of crazy, but okay, got you. All right, nothing really much on there. Red Sox, the jury's out. We'll see. It's time for probables. This has been a nice long stream, and we will do it again tomorrow on Wednesday. All right, here are the games for today. DeGrom gets over his neck situation, and he will start at Baltimore. So Jake and Eflin, whole reunion going on there. Whole Mets reunion going on in Baltimore this week. Whole bunch of people. Jankowski, Bassett, Alonso, DeGrom, whole bunch of dudes. Nimmo, obviously. All right, Pirates, Reds. Bubba Chandler making season debut versus Brandon Williamson. This should be a fun one. Curious to see how Bubba comes out. I actually like Bubba a lot on this mound. He might be nasty on Cincinnati's mound. Nationals, Phillies, PJ Poulin and Andrew Painter. There will be a watching video up on Andrew Painter tonight. As soon as he's done, I will make that. White Sox, Marlins, Fetty and Junk. Marlins are hot. Rockies, Jays, Feltner and Scherzer. Scherzer season debut at the Rogers Center. We'll see how that goes. A's and Braves. A's looking for their first win. Savali and Suarez. Waiting for that A's offense to take over. Angels, Cubs. Soriano, who was filthy in his first start, might be making the leap. We got to keep an eye on Soriano. This year. He could be making the leap. JMO, Vila was down in WBC in spring training, but there's a lot of know-how here. We'll see how this looks. They're counting on him to be steady. Rays, Brewers, McClanahan is finally back. Definitely want to keep an eye on him, as well as Woodruff. He's now the new OG with the Brewers now that Freddie's gone. I guess Woodruff was around longer anyway, but he took that qualifying offer. He's there. Mets, Cardinals, Senga season debut. Definitely must-watch TV here as well. What will he look like? Will he be aggressive? Will he be getting in his own way? Will he be nasty? Will he get to 2 strikes early and often and use the ghost fork? We'll see. He's going against Palante. Sox, Astros, Bayo season debut. New slider looked good. Let's see how that pops up tonight. Tough matchup, though. Hunter Brown was exceptional in his debut this season. So the Red Sox have a lot to overcome tonight. Tigers, Diamondbacks, Mize, and Fott. Giants, Padres. Webby back out there versus Herman Marquez. So Herman Marquez making his Padres debut. We'll see how that goes. We'll see how he looks. I didn't watch him at all in spring. Webby, I think he was fine on opening day, even though he got beat by the Yankees. I think he was more fine, not really that bad. And then this is a great matchup tonight. Fried and Gilbert, so both aces going at it here. Yankees, Mariners. And then, Shohei on the mound tonight for the Dodgers. So we'll definitely keep an eye on that as well. He makes his season debut on the mound. Bybee and Ohtani. So those are our probables. Let me answer this question real quick. If there's something peculiar about Cincinnati's mound that leads you to say that about Chandler, yes, it's flat. His fastball is going to play even better up in the zone today. Keep an eye on that if you watch that game at all. I think that mound will play well with his approach. All right, 2 more things in the chat here, and then I'm saying goodbye. I've been saying this. Bat speed actually relevant. We don't know bat weight like physics. Yeah, well, we don't know mass versus total mass versus acceleration. We just know speed at this point. So that's a good point, but it still matters. Bat speed still matters, and if you go look at the leaderboard, it makes a lot of sense. All right, I'm saying goodbye. I got to go buy flowers with my wife. Everybody have a great Tuesday. Happy Passover coming up.
Celebrate.
And we'll see you tomorrow, Wednesday. Have a great day, everybody. Thanks for hanging with me today on Baseball and Coffee. All right, see you guys later. Bye-bye.